Is it going? Yeah. Okay. Alright guys, got no idea for in shot because the phone's against a wall. But we
Probably
can
check, but
you can be bothered. Day 14, we're in where are we? We're off to a cracking start. Just outside of Rapid, yeah, southwest of Rapid. And we're staying with tonight? Fred and Sherry, and my goodness, they're amazing. And we're in this house, set in the most beautiful part of the Black Hills, overlooking a gorgeous river, which kind of bends around like that outside, and just like in a sheer valley. There were deer outside when we arrived, and there were apparently bighorn sheep come by as well. And foxes, yeah. Did you see the fox? No, yeah. Oh yeah, and there are these hawks flying about, literally and because we're so at the top of this valley, they're not hundreds of feet above you, they're a few feet above you, flying around and circling. And
then it's just maybe the sunsets, the sun on the rocks, the pink skies, the river is stunning.
Amazing.
I don't think I've ever seen a view as nice as that from a house anywhere.
No, never.
Anywhere.
Never. Absolutely stunning. Like nothing I've ever seen before.
But we'll get on to that one later.
Yeah.
As Sam wants to say. So back to the beginning of today.
Back to where we left you.
Was it at Jammy's?
We were at Jammy's. Yeah, we were. We were not in a great mood last night. Just wanted to get to bed as usual. Really. I mean, with this getting a bit repetitive. But we woke up. We had that line until 7, and we went out. Jamie was just coming back from walking her dogs when we were waking up. Bonnie and Baby. And we had a really lovely breakfast of sausage, bacon, eggs. She's on a keto diet.
Yeah.
Which means no carbs. So we fueled up on all of that, which was delicious, to be fair. And packed up. It took a while to get out the door. Eventually left for about 8:45.
I think it was going to be a nice, easy 50 mile a day.
Oh yeah, and also thank you so much, Jamie. Your hospitality was amazing. So we thought it was going to be a nice easy 50 mile day.
It started out like that, to be fair.
It did. It was sunny.
Quite nice.
It was glorious.
Off the I-90, having a good time.
Just alongside, and then we decided we'd hop onto the I-90 for about 17 miles, and at risk of obviously all this debris on there, but we went on there and it was glorious. It was fine. We were
nice day. Bit of a headwind, but pushing through.
Yeah, the hell was annoying.
Game of Thrones. He was listening to Sherlock.
Yeah, and we should say as well, with regards to this listening, we listen to our audiobooks when we're cycling on these roads for hours and hours and hours at a time, and it's just the scenery doesn't change a lot. We'll nudge each other if we see something particularly cool. But we should say as well, when we reach the cities, it's earphones out. High alert, so yeah, safety first. Anyway, so we're on this for 70 miles. We're just about to hit Tilford, which was our one break for today.
3 miles out of Tilford.
Yeah,
when we stopped onto the bridge.
Yeah,
or there are a few drops of rain.
Oh yeah, under the bridge.
The bridge.
And James put on his jacket rather sensibly, and I was like, oh no, it's just one cloud. And I didn't, and literally minutes later, we started melting it down because this cloud was coming over from the Black Hills, and we're like, oh, if we pedal fast, we'll be able to get past it. But not a chance. It was moving with us, despite the headwind against us, which was bizarre. And then hail,
a bit of rain, bit of hail, bit of thunder, bit of lightning, and then suddenly just a full-out thunderstorm. Yeah,
full on. And luckily, about a mile outside of Tilford, there was this kind of pit stop, a rest area, and there was this building there. And so we stopped under there to shelter. But the rest area was closed. Jamie, number 2 at this point.
Sorry?
You need to go to the loo.
I was going to the loo.
Yeah. And we were just oh, for goodness sake, we were only 20 miles from Rapid, so
it was frustrating.
Infuriating
you couldn't cycle through it.
No, not at all. And even these motorbikes decided
hardcore, scary American motorbikes.
Yeah, and we were we saw them roll up, literally, and we were there with our tiny bikes, all in Lycra, and they were there in their jeans and their sweaters and blaring out music, and they came up to us what's going to happen?
And they were actually the friendliest guys in the world.
So lovely.
So nice.
Yeah. They're from LA.
Yeah.
And they had done a few biking tours together, and we're on another one across Dakota.
And one of them was very worried because obviously the lightning, I still can't seem to get it through Sam's head that if there's lightning and we're on carbon bikes, it's not good. Can't. But basically, one of these bikers was refusing to move because he kept seeing lightning and panicking about it. And to be fair, there was a lot of lightning, and we've got an app which shows us, and it's all going around in the valley, thunder, lightning, torrential rain. But it's slowed down after about 20 minutes, and they were like, right, let's get back on the bikes, go for a quick piss, and then it started raining again.
And so we ended up being under the shelter for about an hour.
Yeah, probably.
We arrived there about 10:50. Almost, we arrived there coming up to 11, and then we left coming up to 12.
Yeah. Which is frustrating because we wanted to get in good time.
Yeah. Because it was a half day. We just wanted to get there, chill out, have loads of time, and we were delayed by this. Loads of Subway. And anyway, we continued. Oh, I should say as well, because I kind of want to add this in, just about like how we're feeling, because that's like to set like if we have a look back. And I don't know about you, but like when I start off the day, it's like someone has taken out all the energy from my legs, and it's like it's really hard. It's not hard to get out on the road, but it's hard to like start spinning. But once we reach those stops, at those stops, I'm always like feeling right. I want to go. I want to get on with it and reach the destination. And it's that feeling of reaching the final destination which kind of keeps you going.
It's a bit depressing, really, but that's what it is.
It's true.
Thinking about Chicago, thinking about DC, and then thinking about that day.
Yeah, and we're thinking we're getting fitter by the times we're doing, but we don't feel like it.
No. I was saying it's like if you're if you lose weight slowly, you don't notice because it's you. But if you see someone who hasn't seen you for a couple of weeks, they go, "Oh, you've lost weight."
Yeah,
and it's the same with us getting fit. We don't feel we're getting fitter, but the average is miles an hour doing. Makes it look like it does. Which is good. And also, like, my weight hasn't changed, but we were looking at a photo recently, and my arms were so thin, and I think all my like muscles have gone from my arms, my legs, to, and that must have been a bit of a fitness transfer. I see it. But anyway, we headed off. What time was it? It was about 12. 12, yeah. And that was all right actually.
Really straightforward. We came straight off the I-90 there.
Yeah. And headed into the storm, but for the most, we didn't get rained on.
Just about staved it off.
And this area seems to be just up and down the whole time, up and down, up and down.
It said 400 up, 700 down for these last 20 miles, and it just wasn't.
And same with yesterday, Giggle's just lying to us.
So true.
But powered on through, then navigated. Annoyingly, we hit rapid, but then there's another 4 miles to the Walmart. And the town was so flooded. All this rain coming through, and the grasslands were flooded.
Like
rivers had all burst their banks. It was awful. So they're sort of cycling through
coming
the roads
right up
as well.
to the bridges, weren't they?
Wow.
And the spray was all kicking up from the cars and our own, and our feet were sodden.
Did you get your eyes stinging at one point? I seem to get this when the stuff kicks up the spray. There's all kinds of muck in the road as well. I don't know why you don't get this, but eyes start to sting. And then we had one huge hill. I was like, no, please don't let that be a hill going up. And
it was like the last mile to Walmart's where we were.
And it was almost a mile.
It was such a steep gradient. And we just
the traffic light to the top as well, so we had to start on the hill.
Yeah. Oh, that was what I was like. We were trying to time it so we went through a green, but we didn't get it at all. And one quick thing is that we're in South Dakota, so the crosses have changed to X's, and they say
crosses from where people on the side of the road have died. They usually,
which was
other states have been marked with
Wyoming.
White crosses, and they've got names and flowers, and then here it's pretty brutal.
It's like red X's on this diamond sign, and it says
X marks the spot.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid or something.
It says think, and then there's another one which is I find really could be really insulting as well to the person who died if it wasn't their fault, and it says why die ? And it's like
or even so, face. And half these things are weather related, skidding out something you can't help. So it's pretty cruel, it seems.
Yeah.
But back onto where we were. We got to the Walmart, did our usual Walmart shop. Apparently it's one of the biggest Walmarts in the States, which worried me because Sam takes long enough in Walmart as an average one.
I was quick today.
Yeah, you're quick. So we went in, got our stuff, we were out.
Got bars, stocked up on the load bars because we're going through some pretty big deserted places and big days.
Got not breakfast, got lunch for tomorrow. And then got Mackies
and Pop-Tarts.
And we got Pop-Tarts.
Oh, we had a huge Mackies, didn't we?
Yeah. So you can see, all you lovely Americans watching this obviously doesn't apply, but you can see why some people here are just so overweight, and it is noticeable. You look around and every other person is obese.
Mm-hmm. And we should say as well, the people we've been staying with are all like
they're all cyclists. They're
all fit as they come.
No issues there.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't apply to them.
But we had I had 2 Big Mac meals.
Yeah,
and 6 different burgers.
Yeah, I had 4 McChickens and 2 triple cheeseburgers. Which was amazing.
I had nuggets.
Oh yeah.
And then whilst we were doing that, we went and changed into our dry clothes because Jamie was going to come very, very kindly from where we were staying last night to pick us up and take us up Mount Rushmore, because that would have been another 50 miles and a lot of elevation we didn't need.
Yeah, it would have been like 30 there and 30 back, and
and then funny enough, whilst we were waiting at McDonald's.
Oh, incredible! Yeah. So we were sat down, and I went up to get some Pop-Tarts or something for my bag, and some bloke approached me and he said, "Hi, are you staying with Warm Showers tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, that's bizarre. I am." And he said, "Oh, are you staying with the Thurstons?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it turned out he was Fred, who was staying with tonight, and he'd seen 2 bikes there, and he thought no one there can only be like 2 people cycling through in crazy weather like this who have stopped off at some random supermarket, and so he came over and introduced himself.
Had a chat.
And that was amazing. Yeah,
that was really nice. And then Jamie turned up with her lovely little dogs, and we hopped in the car and drove up to Mount Rushmore, which was awesome. And then she said, "Do you want to go inside? It costs $10." And we thought, yeah. So we walked in, and it turns out, which is really cool, Fred, who we're staying with tonight, is an architect, I should say. And he's done so much, but he's also done the Mount Rushmore car park and levels it just such as you can always see the monument, which is really cool.
Yeah, because he redid the whole design that they were going for before and made it basically way better. And it was awesome to hear about that from him.
And then the actual Mount was cool. I mean, and we got brutally honest. We got there and we saw the 4 faces and we thought that was really cool. And we were like, right, okay, it's 4 faces in rock. Like, you know, it's something to see, something that I'd like to see. Yeah. And it was awesome thinking about how they did it, but at the same time.
And we learned the faces. It was Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln. Yeah. And
which is quite cool.
Yeah, and so I was like, right, well, since we're here, we've seen them, we've got to get that photo. So we got a photo. I met these 4 girls who turned out to be missionaries, which was cool. And
gave us their card.
Yeah.
With a little note saying, "Read the Bible."
Yeah. And so we're like, cool.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Sam said he hoped it was their numbers, but
chat.
That was cool.
Yeah. And then we went out and for the ticket.
Oh yeah, and then we went to get the ticket. And it says how many people in the car, and then it says, "Are you Army?" And technically, I am a Type C D reservist or something. So if the Army, the reserves TA, and everyone else doesn't get called up, I could be. So we said yes.
Yeah.
And it's free, which is really cool. And I think the UK should do this a lot more. I mean, America is so big on the Army, but I think the UK should try and do a lot more. And so things like this, national monuments, were free, which is really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
So hop back in the car with Jamie.
Yeah.
And took a scenic route.
Yeah. Didn't quite have time for the... what was it called? Needles. Yeah, didn't quite have time for the needles,
And what was that guy called?
Which guy?
The Native American, and he could sit at the top.
The horse thing?
Yeah, what was it called?
I can't remember.
There's something else cool up the mountain, but we didn't have time.
Yeah. And Jamie was so kind, like went out of her way on a Sunday to take us around here, and then take us all the way to our Warm Showers, who were like outside of Rapid. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Jamie. And sorry for falling asleep. I really haven't been sleeping well. And the miles we're putting in, I just nodded off.
I think I was done as well, because I was navigating, sort of something that 10 miles less or something.
Oh, bless. But she was lovely company as well. So thank you. And we got to, and as I said, I was nodding off. And so we got there, and all I wanted to do was take a nap. And so I went in to catch up on some sleep, and James then went to
church.
Off to church, yeah. And there are stories diverged for a little bit, and so I was just introducing myself to Fred and Cherry, and hearing a few stories from them, and it was really cool. And I was about to go off to bed, and there was this like kind of itch that I couldn't scratch the whole like OCD of cycling every mile, because obviously we've been picked up from Walmart's and then kind of gone on this detour and dropped off at the warm shower stations. And we would do that, we would make it in continuous route anyway. But they've been saying about how lovely the bike ride was and along this road and blah blah blah. And so I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna go and do it. And also because I'd fallen asleep and so I hadn't seen any of this route, and so I had all my bags off already because they'd already shown me to my room. And then I went down this hill and I felt the wind in my hair. It was awesome. And then I was like, hang on, I shouldn't be feeling the wind in my hair. And I forgot my helmet because I'd literally gone out with nothing but my music and glasses. And but I was already too far down this like 10% gradient hill. So I was like, oh, well, I'll take it slow. I went to where we were cycling through rapids. So I went to that road, Sturgis Road, and then did a loop back. So just a little like 10-mile loop. And it was amazing. Like, it reminded me why I just love cycling, because it was so like at one point I came off my saddle, like stood up to like kind of heave myself up this hill, and also I thought, and then realised I didn't have the saddlebags, and the back of my bike was twitching all over the place. It's almost like taking stabilizers off or something, and I genuinely thought I was going to fall over. I didn't know about it, I was panicking, but luckily I just about stayed upright. And anyway, came back up this hill this time, and it's really steep. Like, I was sweating a ton because it was so steep, and it was really cool at this point in the day as well. And I went back up top. Oh, I also bumped into Fred, and he was going to pick James up from church, and so I gave him the correct address after my phone crashed a couple of times, which is never done before, and decided it would do in this urgent matter. And I went back up and got my helmet on because I really wanted to take this hill as fast as I could. And I put Strava on, and I raced down, and then came all the way back up. There's about a mile of like 10% gradient, so you can hit some serious speed going down there. And I hit 73 kilometers an hour on the first downhill, and then went back up, and went back down again. And I tried to hit, and because on the way down I didn't brake this time, but I did kind of like sit up for a bit because I felt really nervous going down. I'd never gone that fast before on a bike. And so I kind of had that air braking me, and then the next time I went down and like tucked properly, but I still didn't go down into drops because I felt like so twitchy on the bike. I hit 74, and that was quite cool. And then came back up, and James literally pulled up behind me, and I was really tempted to go down again, playing Free Falling by Tom Petty and whack on the GoPro on my bike, but that will have to wait for tomorrow. And then that's when James and Fred pulled up. Mm-hmm. And
got back, showered, freshened up.
Your service sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good.
What a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Which we were talking about on the road one time.
Yeah, a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and
looking forward to Focus this year.
Yeah, so looking forward to Focus, and so that was pretty cool. They played that.
Then had showers, unpacked, chilled, put a wash on, and then had the most amazing Mexican supper cooked by Fred.
Oh, so good.
Which was just awesome.
Yeah.
The view was beautiful, everything was perfect.
Yeah.
And he said he's sure he don't want to stay a couple more nights. And we're like, don't say that to us.
Gosh, yeah. And they're vegan as well and gluten free.
Yeah.
Which apparently they
our food wasn't.
Our food wasn't, but the dessert was.
Yeah.
That was amazing. They were kind of flapjacks and these kind of chocolate
truffles kind of things.
Truffles, yeah, exactly. And glorious. And so the hosts quick like backstory about the host there. So he's a architect, designed a load of stuff, as we said, around the area. Designed his last house with a load of different levels, but then because of his back, he moved out here quite spontaneously by the sounds of it, without even looking at the house. And obviously they've done really well getting it. And they were actually star-crossed lovers as well at one point.
Yeah, such a cool story. He bought a fountain pen off eBay, forgot to pay, got chatting to the person, started pen paling, started calling, year and a half later met, started a long distance relationship, and they got married. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Insane, from like separate
from
coasts.
From East and West Coast, yeah.
Insane.
Lovely people, as always. Keen cyclist, done some tours. Mm-hmm. And he's now retired so that he can cycle, which is really cool. Doing a few small projects. Lovely people, lovely food, lovely place.
Yeah.
and again, just tricky to leave tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and we should say as well I think we're feeling pretty good
physically.
Yeah, it's been a half day today, and getting out on that bike as well, like all my aches and pains just melted away. It was just exhilarating and so much fun, and I think after that half day it's been really good because it's been really restful.
Couple of big days coming up.
We have 2 big days coming up
tomorrow. And we'll be back on track.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be about 140 miles, which we've done bigger, and it's going to be... Oh, also, we've hit downhill. We're going pretty much downhill or flat the whole way from here to Chicago.
It's just not going to be there, is it?
Oh, it's not going to be. There's going to be headwinds. It's going to be uphill. We know it's not going to be that straightforward, but we've done the worst of the Rockies. Like, hopefully, just the Continental Divide has thrown all it can at us, and we're over the worst. Yeah, no, but obviously it's not going to work out.
So a couple of big days.
140 tomorrow, and then we're going to try and do 150 afterwards.
Yeah, and then that gets us back on track, and also skips up having to buy a room for the night.
Yeah, so we'll be able to stay with our lovely host in Mitchell, and and then we'll be back on track, making up for that rest day in Spokane. James has done incredibly well, despite his knees, so we're hopefully going to cover some serious miles, and then after that we have a nice 70-mile day.
And then not long to Chicago.
Yeah, crazy. Before we haven't dared to look up and think about the end, but Chicago's that's like a turning point, and it's like a couple of days before we hit halfway in terms of mileage. Chicago's like the final leg and the final rest day.
There's about a week left. All downhill.
Yeah, so we're so buzzing right now. We're kind of shattered.
And a really cool thing. Alright, made a great purchase tonight. All of these, so I'll actually be able to sleep. Speaking of sleep, we should do that. It there,
Oh, also check out that thing in the background. That's a really cool inverter.
Actually, a quick demo.
Inversion table. James is going to do a quick demo.
Sam can't.
I can't. My head falls off the end. There's no way that I can fit on that thing. But
I'm not quite sure what's the point of it, but you do this. And apparently it's good for you.
To be fair, I don't know how our host does it because he's as tall as I am.
He's 6'4".
Yeah. Anyway, good night. We're going to sleep.
Right, I will go and grab.
Ooh.